Good. Right where we need to be here, fellas. This is exactly the goal that we set out for back in training camp, back in the springtime. It's what we've been talking about, and so really like where our guys are at so far this week. They've been focused, they've been dialed in, and we'll have another good day of practice here today and get ready here for Sunday night. Open it up.
They completely reworked that defense through free agency and the draft. There's so many vets and new pieces. I don't know how much you were able to look back at their full season. A unit that's just playing a lot better late in the year when they've had that time to build the chemistry among them.
Yeah, hard to say how much they've changed from a year ago because we didn't play them last year. But this is exactly what Dan Quinn does everywhere he goes. Atlanta, Dallas, and now to Washington. This is a defense that what stands out when you turn it on the tape. They all pursue, they all tackle, they rally around the ball carrier. They play balls to the wall every single snap, and that's really the first thing that you see. And so talent-wise, they got guys all across the board. A lot's been said about the defensive tackles. I'd say their edge players are equally as disruptive here this year. I got a lot of respect for what Fowler's been putting on tape. The two linebackers are flying around, and they're very challenging to pick up and pass pro. And then on the back end, they're competing. They are competing, and today's third down day, you see a lot of man coverage coming up and challenging, much like what we saw from our own defense in training camp. So a lot of respect for this crew, and it's going to take our best stuff here Saturday night.
I want to ask you about, obviously, the job interviews. Third go-around, what did you learn about that process that you think is maybe a better candidate?
Oh, shoot. This go around, I've been a lot more prepared for the types of questions that they've been asking. I've also changed my frame of mind a little bit, and instead of worrying solely about the offense and what we're doing right here, I've been able to have off seasons and summers to think about big picture view, what a program would look like where I'm running it. And so I think that way I'm a lot more prepared for the questions that come my way and much more comfortable answering them.
What's the most important part of any job that you would consider seriously in pursuing or accepting? Would it be supportive ownership? Maybe how you work with the GM, quarterback situation? Is there something that stands out to you?
I see what you're doing right now, Carlos, and I'm not taking it. I'm gonna stay focused on the main thing right here, and that's going to be the Washington Commanders right here now. That's what we're about. I told the head coach when we came in. He asked me about how it went this weekend. It went great, and that's the end of it. The focus right here now for the players, for the coaching staff, for everybody in this building is about this game this week.
More semantic question than that, because Tom Brady's doing the game this week, and you interviewed with the Raiders. Are you allowed to have contact with him on the field? Do you have any? I don't know.
I know nothing of that nature. I met him the Packers game on the field. I saw him for a second in pregame. That's the first time I've ever met him, and that's it. So.
Just because he's a great partner. Did you talk with him this past week then? And I don't know. You know what I mean? What can you say? Can that be job stuff?
Well, my pay grade.
I'm going to try one more on a slightly different note, though. You and AG, do you compare notes through these last couple of years at all about different things you're learning along the way about the interview process? And then
we've had a lot of conversations, football and otherwise, big picture stuff to more specific defensive philosophy, scheme, and all of those things. So, yeah, we've had great conversations over the last few years.
Interviews. Do people ask you about him as a candidate? Now, I guess what would you say to people about Aaron Glenn?
I think I told you guys this last year. He is beyond qualified right now. You hear all of our players singing his praises right now, and that's exactly what I would do. I would second that. I mean, he is more prepared to be a head coach than maybe anybody I've ever met. He wants that, and I think he's doing a phenomenal job in charge.
Hey, Ben, just to kind of follow up on that.
In what ways do you think Aaron and how he coaches has helped you in your development? And you could probably ask him the same thing, but just in terms of your unit and his unit,
No, listen, it's everybody in this building, from Aaron to our head coach to Scotty Montgomery to Hank Fraley. It's everybody in the building. Everybody's authentic, and they're not trying to be people that they're not, and I think that shows up. Our players see it. If former players can, like Hank, like Steve Hyden, they can really tap into that experience, and that helps relate to the players. Other guys that weren't former players, they can show their superpowers as well to the players, and equally respected and help these players get better. That's really what we're here to do at the end of the day, is help them get better, help the team get better, win a lot of ball games. And so what I've seen from Aaron, from Coach Campbell, and the rest of the crew is just be yourselves, and the team has responded well.
Okay, one more thing. Just what's your sense of the irony that this matchup is against Washington, the team that had you on their list last year?
No irony. I mean, these guys, they have good coaches, they have good players, and they've won a lot of games this year. So a very dangerous opponent, and one that we're certainly not taking lightly.
And you're getting David back this week. I'm curious, do you need to feel out where he's at in the game floor, or does it kind of automatically drift back to the split you had with him and Ja, prior?
Yeah, it's to be determined. Gibbs has certainly had a hot hand as of late, and I expect David to come in and pick up where he left off. If the last 2 days are any indication, he's of the right mindset right now. So we'll see what it looks like today on the field and tomorrow as well, and we'll finalize our plan after that.
My favorite still is comfort level this year, based on coming off of last year. You guys know what it is to win in the postseason. You got a lot of guys that also know what it is to lose, just having been through it together.
Yeah, I tell you this. I don't think anybody in that room, myself included, has forgot that feeling of flying back on that airplane from San Francisco. And so we've been all year long extremely detailed, extremely locked in, and to see it go up another level here this week, it's been really impressive. So our guys know this is exactly what we've been working so hard over the course of the spring, summer, over the course of the season, and so now we're ready to go.
One of the up-and-coming players on that defense is Mike Sainristil. What do you see from him when you flip on the tape?
The thing about him that stood out to me, and this goes back to the springtime, we had a number of Michigan players come into the building, whether it was top 30 visits or local pro day, and every single one of those players said that they would bring him along. Every single player said he was the one guy from Michigan that they would want to bring along with them. And to me, that spoke volumes, because it's rare that you see all these same guys from the same school and they say the same person. It's normally the cliques you hang out with. And so I see a guy on tape that fits their defense in a nutshell. Same thing we've been talking about. They are flying around, reckless almost, borderline reckless, but calculated, and he fits that mold for them perfectly. He's always around the ball, not afraid to tackle. Been really impressive rookie year for him.
We've seen teams sometimes come off bye weeks and struggle to start fast. That's such a point of emphasis for you. What goes into starting fast and picking right back up where you left off when you have a little time off like that?
Yeah, well, we had a great practice right before we left for the bye week, and I know Jared's had the pass catchers at least run routes for him full speed, so we'll get a good feel here today. They've put in a lot of work here over the course of the season, and so I think the timing and the rhythm, the anticipation, I think it's all going to be just fine.
Yeah, and I've asked AG, and I'll fit the same question to ask you as well. When you guys have gained a reputation for being aggressive on fourth downs, obviously, when you guys go for it, you're a part of some of those decisions. When Dan makes that call, what is it like for you in that moment, knowing that you guys have been going for it and keeping that aggressive mindset?
Yeah, I mean, it's been our identity since Coach came in here, right? I mean, so our players, the coaching staff, we're all behind it. Certainly the numbers help support it, and so you got that in your back pocket. But something we emphasize over the course of the week, I know defense has certain calls. We have certain calls on offense, fourth down of the week, and we feel really good about executing it once we get into the game plan. So our guys rally behind it. They love it, and it certainly helped us score more points this year.
He's been your emergency quarterback the last 2 or 3 games, however many he's been back. Does that flip with Hendon for the postseason? Have you made that decision yet on how you're going to approach it?
Yeah, I'll let Coach answer that question, but I'll say this. I'm equally confident in both of those guys here at this point. I've seen enough from Teddy since he's come back that that I know he'll be able to function in games at a high level. And same thing with Hendon over the course of the season. He just keeps getting better. Thank you.
Appreciate that.